Saturday night, Donald Trump was rushed out of the room by the Secret Service. Shots were fired. The Washington Hilton, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, packed with 2,600 people. I went through every document, every piece of footage, every court filing. Within minutes, the internet had made up its mind. Some called it karma, some staged, some claimed it proved everything. Almost all of them missed something crucial. According to official Secret Service statements, one officer was shot. He survived thanks to his vest. The suspect is in custody. Charges have been filed. Headlines flashed across screens. Here's what they didn't catch. Donald Trump, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, arguably the most targeted political figure in modern American history. On Saturday night at the Washington Hilton, a man named Cole Thomas Allen, 31 years old from Torrance, California, charged a security checkpoint outside the ballroom and opened fire. Weeks before, Trump had accepted the invitation, marking his first ever appearance at the White House Correspondents' Dinner as president. Historic. First time a sitting president attended since before his first term. Days before the dinner, Allen reportedly mailed a manifesto to his family outlining targets, grievances, and plans. Saturday, April 25th, just after 8:30 p.m. Dinner begins, plates clinking, Melania to his left, cabinet officials around, then the shots. 5 in total, according to a producer who was just behind the doors. The smell of gunpowder filled the hallway. Trump was rushed off stage. Melania, Vice President Vance, the entire line of succession evacuated within minutes. Chaos, panic. That was the setup, the manifesto. Allen sent it to family members before driving to Washington. The White House confirmed its contents. FBI agents began examining it. The document expressed that Allen was no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat his hands with his crimes. That was official language, not interpretation. This was targeted, premeditated, documented. Allen's sister, Ivana Allen, had already contacted the Secret Service. She warned local police that her brother had made radical statements for years, constantly referencing a plan. After the shooting, the brother also contacted authorities, notifying them that the manifesto had been sent. Family knew, authorities knew, and it still happened. Witness accounts paint a clear pattern. Allen checked into the Washington Hilton, disassembled a long gun, and brought it to his room. From there, he moved to the screening area and charged the checkpoint. Verified across official statements and multiple media reports, security gaps were real. Anyone with a hotel room key could descend to the ballroom level. The checkpoint existed, yet a disassembled rifle made it through. The president, the line of succession, 2,600 guests, all in a commercial hotel basement, and the perimeter had a hole big enough for a long gun. Fallout. One Secret Service officer shot, surviving because of his vest. Charges filed, using a firearm during a crime of violence, assault on federal officers with a dangerous weapon. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche confirmed additional charges pending. FBI raided Allen's California home within 18 hours. That fast. Social media and newsrooms erupted. Some commentators saw a pattern years in the making. Trump, critics argued, had normalized hatred with rhetoric against the press and political opponents. Allen attended a No Kings protest. His manifesto mirrored language circulating in anti-Trump circles online. Political violence doesn't happen in a vacuum. Both sides recognize this as a historical fact. The confirmed facts. A 31-year-old man meticulously planned an attack. Manifesto, hotel reservation, weapon, all timed for the exact venue where the president would be seated. This was no spontaneous act. It followed a clear backstory. In July 2024, Trump was grazed by a bullet at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. 1 killed, 2 critically wounded. September 2024, Ryan Wesley Ralph, arrested near Mar-a-Lago, found months in advance in the area, sentenced to life in February 2026. The White House Correspondents' Dinner had thousands of attendees, a commercial hotel, airport-level security inside the ballroom, but gaps in the building itself. Anyone with a room key could reach the ballroom. Someone could have been caught in the crossfire. The incident triggered rapid political moves, including renewed push for a private presidential ballroom. Trump and Melania arrive just after 8:30 p.m. Cabinet around him, line of succession in place. Then Allen charges the checkpoint. Agents open fire. One shot hits a vest. Allen subdued. Chaos. Secret Service moves the president off stage. Guests dive for cover. Rear exits used for evacuation. What most missed, earlier that day the press secretary joked about some shots fired tonight on a red carpet interview. Within minutes, that clip went viral. False flag theories spread. Meanwhile, the debate over the White House ballroom surged. Trump had wanted a secure private venue. Federal court had ruled the construction unauthorized. Within 14 hours of the shooting, legislative action was proposed to approve the ballroom. The legal trajectory for Allen is severe. Charges filed are only the floor, not the ceiling. Assault on a federal officer with a deadly weapon carries serious time. Attempted assassination of the president, a separate statute, superseding indictments are expected. The breach exposes systemic failures, not just bad luck. A disassembled long gun made it to the hotel where the president was present. Security protocols under review. Political violence directed at elected officials threatens democratic governance itself. Across the professional spectrum, consensus is clear. This was an attack on the institution, not just a single target. Federal charges could carry life imprisonment. Secret Service protocols will undergo a formal review. Public access to political events may be restricted moving forward. The incident also fueled renewed political momentum for the private ballroom, even after the federal court ruling. Cole Allen attended protests, had a manifesto. Language that radicalized him was online for years. Family warned authorities. Still, he acted. The unfolding legal process will determine the full scope. Federal indictments are expected within weeks. Congress and the Secret Service will respond in tandem. Trump is safe. One officer recovering. 2,600 witnesses were present. Political and security implications reverberate. Trump held a press conference Saturday night, flanked by Vice President Vance, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Acting Attorney General Blanche. He started measured, calling the suspect a very sick person and a thug, saying protocol saved him. But on Sunday, during a televised interview, when the language from Allen's manifesto was read aloud, a document that didn't even name Trump directly, he told the journalist she should be ashamed and called her a disgrace. Supporters framed it as defending against media bias. Critics said he attacked a journalist for reading a public court document. Democrats responded quickly. Representative Jaime Raskin was asked whether heated Democratic rhetoric contributed to the climate of violence. His answer, what rhetoric? That instantly became its own story. House Minority Leader Jeff had used the phrase maximum warfare everywhere all the time, just days before the shooting. The clip circulated widely, amplifying scrutiny. Still unclear, Allen's precise motive beyond the manifesto. While the document called someone a pedophile, rapist, and traitor, it reportedly didn't name Trump directly. Who was the target? Trump? Cabinet officials? Or was this a symbolic attack on the institution itself? Then, the security gap. How did a disassembled long gun make it past any checkpoint at a hotel hosting the sitting president? Questions remain. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche confirmed a formal indictment is being prepared. Charges are expected to expand beyond the initial filing within the coming week. A Secret Service review of the White House Correspondents' Dinner security protocols is reportedly already underway. Senator Tim Sheehy announced plans to introduce White House ballroom legislation seeking unanimous Senate consent as early as Tuesday or Wednesday following the incident. That week of April 28th is critical. The Senate vote attempt, expanded charges, and first Secret Service review findings are expected to surface. Cole Thomas Allen remains in federal custody, charged with using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on federal officers with a dangerous weapon. The FBI has raided his Torrance, California home. Investigation is ongoing. One Secret Service officer was shot but survived due to his vest and is recovering. Trump held a press conference Saturday night and an interview Sunday. World leaders across the spectrum, including those who openly oppose Trump, condemned the attack. Scheduled for the week of April 28th, Senate legislation for White House ballroom construction and superseding federal indictment expected. By May 2026, the Secret Service formal review findings are anticipated, though not yet public. The full contents of Allen's manifesto remain partially released. The complete document has not been made public. Time is running. Donald Trump is safe, back at the White House. On television, Sunday morning, headlines read, "Another assassination attempt failed. Third one in under 2 years." Yet the shooting occurred at a public media event with 2,600 witnesses and the full presidential line of succession in one room of a commercial hotel. Within 14 hours, legislative moves reignited over the White House ballroom. The debate over political rhetoric surged back into the center of American discourse. Coincidence or consequence? That question remains unanswered. The indictment, the Senate vote, the Secret Service review, these developments will shape how public safety at political events is managed. The implications extend beyond Trump himself. Any large political event, rally, press dinner, or public inauguration now faces scrutiny. The Washington Hilton breach occurred despite airport-level security inside the ballroom. The vulnerability lay in the building itself. Any one of the 2,600 attendees could have been caught in the crossfire. This incident sets a precedent. The White House now cites it to push construction of a private presidential ballroom, even after a federal judge had ruled it unauthorized. Security failures at alternative venues suddenly accelerate political action. Institutional power shifts quietly but decisively. The journalism community, central to the event, faces lasting impact. The White House correspondents. Dinner may never be the same. Cole Allen attended protests, drafted a manifesto, leveraged language circulating freely online. He was not on a terrorist watch list. Family alerts to law enforcement were not enough. Political content online, left or right, contributed to radicalization. This is documented evidence. Informed observers are now monitoring the superseding federal indictment, congressional responses, and Secret Service security reviews. Maximum security protocols for public events will be reevaluated. Knowledge of these developments affects anyone attending large civic gatherings. Trump's responses added another layer of complexity. His measured Saturday press conference gave way to a more confrontational tone on Sunday. He framed the suspect as mentally ill and violent, emphasized adherence to protocol, but then criticized the reporting of Allen's manifesto. Supporters viewed this as standing up to media bias. Critics saw it as an attack on a journalist reading public court documents. The debate over political rhetoric reignited across party lines. Democratic leaders' reactions also drew attention. Representative Jaime Raskin's dismissive response about heated rhetoric became its own viral story. Clips of House Minority Leader Jeff's recent phrases, like maximum warfare everywhere all the time, resurfaced, feeding the discourse on how language shapes real-world violence. Social media amplified all angles. False flag theories, partisan blame, and security critiques spread within hours. Key questions remain unresolved. Allen's exact motive beyond the manifesto is unclear. The document reportedly labeled someone a pedophile, rapist, and traitor, but did not name Trump directly. Was the target Trump himself, cabinet officials, or the institution? How did a disassembled long gun bypass hotel security to reach the presidential venue? The answers will be central to ongoing investigations and reviews. Federal and state legal proceedings are moving rapidly. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche confirmed that a formal indictment is in preparation, with charges expected to expand beyond the initial filing. The Secret Service has already begun reviewing security protocols at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Legislative responses are underway, with Senator Tim Sheehy announcing plans to introduce legislation approving a private White House ballroom. The week of April 28th is pivotal. Senate voting expanded charges, and the first round of Secret Service review findings are anticipated to emerge. Currently, Cole Thomas Allen is in federal custody, charged with using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on federal officers with a dangerous weapon. FBI agents have raided his Torrance, California home. One Secret Service officer, shot during the incident, survived due to a bulletproof vest and is recovering. Trump attended a press conference and a televised interview following the shooting. Leaders across the political spectrum condemned the attack. Looking ahead, by May 2026, the Secret Service's formal review findings are expected. The full contents of Allen's manifesto remain partially released. These developments are critical for understanding security gaps, political fallout, and public safety implications. The incident underscores how political rhetoric, online content, and institutional vulnerabilities converge to create real-world threats. The Washington Hilton shooting exposed vulnerabilities at a large public event. Despite airport-level security inside the ballroom, the hotel building itself allowed a disassembled rifle to reach a critical area. Any of the 2,600 attendees could have been in the line of fire. The incident serves as a precedent for future presidential event security, including the push for a private White House ballroom, even after federal court rulings had blocked construction. Institutional power and security measures are being recalibrated in real time. The ramifications extend to public engagement, journalism, and political discourse. The White House Correspondents' Dinner may never be the same. Political language, online radicalization, and security infrastructure intersected to create a near-catastrophic scenario. Experts and officials are now monitoring superseding indictments, congressional responses, and Secret Service reviews closely. Maximum security protocols at public events are under urgent evaluation. This is about real safety, policy, and the preservation of democratic processes. Cole Thomas Allen attended protests, drafted a manifesto, and used language that had circulated online for years. He was not on a terrorist watch list. His own family warned authorities, but it was not enough to prevent the attack. Political content on social media, whether left-leaning or right-leaning, played a role in radicalizing him. This is what the documented evidence shows. Informed observers are now watching several critical developments: the superseding federal indictment expected within weeks, congressional responses to security gaps, and the Secret Service review of event protocols. Questions about what maximum security truly means for public events are being revisited. Every public gathering, rally, press dinner, or inauguration now faces heightened scrutiny. The breach at the Washington Hilton occurred despite airport-level security inside the ballroom. The vulnerability was in the building itself. 2,600 attendees were at risk. Any one of them could have been in the crossfire. This incident sets a precedent. The White House is citing it to justify construction of a private presidential ballroom, a project previously blocked by a federal judge. When institutional gaps collide with political urgency, legal barriers are tested and executive momentum shifts. For the journalism community, this incident is deeply significant. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, once a single-night gathering, may never be the same. Security protocols, public access, and the management of risk at high-profile events are being fundamentally reevaluated. Political violence directed at elected officials has tangible consequences, not just for those targeted, but for institutions, media, and civic engagement. Trump is safe. The Secret Service officer who was shot is recovering. Cole Thomas Allen remains in federal custody. Investigations continue. Federal charges are likely to expand. Senate legislation for the White House ballroom is moving quickly. By May 2026, the first round of Secret Service review findings is expected. The full contents of Allen's manifesto remain only partially released. This incident is more than a headline. It is a case study in security lapses, political rhetoric, social media influence, and institutional response. It underscores the real-world consequences when threats are telegraphed, when gaps exist, and when political language fuels extremist action. Every step, from manifesto to hotel room to the breach to legislative reactions, is being analyzed. Understanding these events is essential for anyone attending public political events, for media, and for policymakers shaping security measures. The story is still unfolding.